What's up, YouTube? What's up, Wolfpack family? What's going on? Hey, before we get started, hey, y'all remember hit that subscribe button, like the video, share the video, and comment. Talk to us. We do talk back. Nitty, what's going on, my G?
Man, what's good, man? Lately I've been, try to kind of organize and put the book together that I'm gonna write on my life. People been asking me to do it for a while, and I think, that I'm gonna finally go ahead and sit down and try to do it. But one of the things I was thinking about today was, when I first came to the penitentiary, people always say, "Well, man, how do you feel your first day in the penitentiary? How do you this and that?" And it was like to me, it felt like I was in a city inside of a city, meaning Baltimore. But in the same token, as crazy as this may sound, because of how many the people who had, I grew up knowing and seeing in the neighborhoods, my neighborhood heroes and all that, but you haven't seen them in, 10 years and stuff like that. You don't know nothing about them. It was almost like saying, is this kind of like heaven or hell? Now, I know people think I'm crazy for saying this, but it was like going to the other side, right? For me, is just turning 22 years old. It was like going to the other side for me, right? It was like, okay, I haven't seen these people in years, but wow, there you go. And there go him, and there go that one, and man, he got a little gray now, and then he done gained a little weight, but damn. But then I had to ask myself, and this is what it feel like to be dead. Is this really where they send the people at who are like you going to die? Because I sit down there and I said, wow, I said, well, shit. I really didn't think about it like that, like so much until today. And I said, wow, man, I say, seeing all these people I ain't seen for years, and I grew up hearing stories like, well, when we been told as little kids, when God called you home, you're gonna be able to see grandma and great granddad, you'll be able to see them all. And I was like, wow, is this what they were talking about? And to be, like I said, still relatively young. And seeing these people, knowing that, and not just knowing, but having to ask myself, is this what's going to happen to me? Are people going to stop asking about me? Are people going to stop remembering me? Because that's what had happened to them. Because you're asked around for a little while, like, hey man, how's such and such doing? When they, first year or two, you might even scratch it to 3. But then the inquiry is going to slow down and eventually going to stop. Unless it's them on the inside keeping in contact with somebody on the outside, right? And they might have a little information about them, but, that's far and few. And it really, it was so life-changing, so to speak, without even really understanding what was going on. It was like, okay, I knew I had the time, right? It was like almost like I'm walking around in kind of a trance, but I still, I know what was going on. Like, okay, I know I got all this time, right? And I done heard all the horror stories about the prison and all that, and all I can say is, hey man, it's either gonna be me or them, right? And I'm gonna bet on me every time. So that's kind of the attitude I took when I got in there. But it was so life changing to, you on the one hand, you happy that you seeing somebody that you haven't seen in so long, so many years, but then people are now talking to you like that. Hey man, keep your head up in there, man. There was such asked about you. That's the reality of prison.
So, OG, when you first got in there, during your first, what's it called, what was your first violent experience you ran into once you was in?
My first violent experience, me being young, trying to, run for the phone when I came from out the yard, right? A guy was on the second tier trying to rape a guy. That was my first violent experience in the penitentiary, right? He was on there. This dude, he really he had him in like a one arm L off his feet. And in the course of that, he was trying to pull the guy's sweatpants down. And the guy was trying to hold the sweatpants up, and he was like trying to brace his feet on the frame of the door at the same time, right? And try to keep you from pushing him in the cell. And I knew that, like, at first I thought it was two guys just fighting. Okay, this is penitentiary, this violent spot. But then I knew that only one was really tussling. And I said, well, fuck, right? Because although this wasn't my first incarceration, the time I get back to that was my second incarceration. However, my first, they just waved on me and tried me as an adult, right? But that's neither here nor there. It was just so, I said, once again, life changing. Like, is this what the fuck go on in here? Right? Like you hear about it, but to actually witness it, like you right there, and it's kind of, like, you want to mind your business, but at the same token, you ask yourself, am I really saying what the fuck I'm saying? Right? Like, that a man's mind can snap that much that he reverts to raping another man. Like, man, you in there, like, it ain't two homosexual guys and they decide to get together. No. You're really forcing yourself on somebody. You're trying to, overpower this person's will. And it really makes you think when you get in the cell. It makes you think a number of things. One, are you willing to take everybody's life that try that? My answer immediately was fucking yes. But you also become afraid. What the fuck made him turn into that? Like, is this what the fuck I might become one day? And you tell yourself, man, hey, man, I'm a man through and through. That's what I did. And I stood on that. But you had so many that don't. And they once was G's and they hood, and I ain't talking about no gang shit.
Well, Fleece, my man Fleece Johnson, everybody come out of prison is experience gay activities and stuff.
Yeah, like I said, Fleece Johnson, as I've said on other episodes, is a garden variety homosexual. He tries to pump himself up by saying like he was raping people and shit like that. I don't believe it. But that's a damn lie. To be clear for the viewers, no, don't think I dodged a question. I just had to voice my opinion about him, right? The smell of shit never, enticed me. That never, sexually motivated me in no way, or another man inviting himself to me in some kind of way. So no, so yeah, Fleece Johnson is like much of the TV network now.
I mean, I just asked that question. I mean, I spent a lot of time in penitentiary myself, and I knew that's untrue. So
but
I just wanted to ask you that. Go ahead.
Right, but like I said, I just want to make sure, and anybody feel free to share this with him. Fleece Johnson is what much of the TV networks are now. They are trying to promote these, for the lack of a better term, these homosexual activities. And so, he won't feel so awkward, right? Because being in society now, he probably like, He's like, hey boy, I lost a butt. Mama looked at him like, what the fuck wrong with you, nigga? You crazy? You fuck with me. So he considers a weirdo out here. Right? But, you know, so he's trying to, you know, get just like what snitchers do. Hey man, I told you back home tell too, man. No. They do that to try to, you know, not feel bad about their decisions. Right? But I said back to the penitentiary, man, it's like everything it seemed like you might consider it as moving slow, but coming off the streets, it was moving really fast. And you had to listen to everything somebody said to you. I mean, every single fucking word. And that's what a lot of people don't do this day and time. I noticed since I've been back out here. They don't listen to what people say. I heard some noise and I caught most of it, but they don't listen. And the penitentiary, they cost you. So you can say yeah to something that will cost you. So I'll leave y'all with that, but we're going to definitely continue this. But until next time, peace.
Hey, thanks for watching, y'all. Remember, hit that subscribe button, like the video, share the video, and comment. Sure appreciate you. Silver Wolf TV. God bless you.